It's the valley of men, not boys, yeah. Let's leave behind all these doubting voices. Let's go somewhere we can make loud animal noise. Let's go make animal noises. I picked you over all of the choices. Let's leave all these doubting voices. Let me take you somewhere where we can make animal noises. Let's go make animal noises. I picked you over all of the choices. Let's leave all these doubting voices. Let me take you somewhere where we can make animal noises. Let's go make animal noises. I picked you over all of the choices. Let's leave all these doubting voices. Take you somewhere where we can make animal noises. You coming at me like a wild rally. My head's buzzing so I ain't even feel that. The neon lights have gone straight to my head. You asked me to repeat myself, but you already know what I said. Take a step back, you cool alligator. I tried to be friends, but you snuffed me at the cradle. Punch a sock and lock it, you don't own the table. You're about to learn first what they told you in my favor. Does the sky ever answer? Or are we just lost in the race? Or are we chasing those flickers in cold outer space? Boy, 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 coming for the king. Punching shadow demons till the tin cup rings. Boy, 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 you better get in line. All this trouble starts at your borderline. Boy, 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 coming for the king. Punching shadow demons till the tin cup rings. Boy, 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 you better get in line. All this trouble starts at your borderline. My head's swimming from these crushed up sevens. 2 more drinks and I'll feel like heaven. All this talking that started my engines revving. I hope God doesn't keep tabs after 11. Take a step back, you ain't no James Taylor. You act like everyone on the block needs to pay it. Put a socket and lock it, you don't belong at my table. You're about to learn first what they told you in my fable. Does the sky ever answer? Or are we just
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Happy hump day. We got Bruvs Unite today. We're about to tear it up, talk about some crazy stuff. I got notes galore today, people. We're going to talk about it. But first, let me go ahead and say what's up to the boy from across the pond, Big James. What's going on, James? How's it going over there in England? What, you got aura going on?
Feeling the aura rushing over me, man, and I'm pushing that aura out. You know, what's that Dragon Ball Z type thing?
Yo,
pushing that aura
over
into the chat.
9,000. Yeah, over 9,000. How's
You got to get the shoulder. You got to drop the shoulder like Jim Skin.
Yeah, you're making
you
me want to loosen
shoulder
up.
like that.
You're making me want to stretch it out.
Oggy, my boy, you've got to feel the aura.
Stretch it
Like
out.
that.
Big down in Miami, we got Miami John over there. What are you up to, John? How's it going, bro? Good to see you.
What's up, guys? Enjoying my day off, chilling with the boys. Let's see what we got going on today, because I know Ray had a whole bunch of things he wanted to talk about. He listed them earlier, so I'm ready.
Yeah, I got it.
I thought that was his shopping list. You know what I mean? Everyone tells me, right, this is the thing, right, D-Wag's been on my ass, man. He's been fucking, I tell you, like, he's like a crazy ex-girlfriend. He's been killing me, man. It's like this thing about tech, right? I'm like, and I've been doing like the talent versus tech, right? Because you can have the best tech in the world, I've seen it, but if you've got no fucking talent, what's the point of having great tech? Now, I am the best streamer on God's green earth, right? I have God-given talent, I have aura, I have everything. So when I'm getting the tech, and I'm filling Ray in every time, I'm saying today, or two tablets, we've got the camera coming, we've got all other bits and pieces and odds and sods coming. And I'm like, then I'm gonna have the tech, then I'm gonna be the best streamer, so there's nothing that you're gonna be able to say to me. There's nothing. No more digs,
go. Yeah.
Ministry of Dude. They're finished.
We're gonna have James in 4K, bro. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Have you seen Ministry of Dude this week? He could put a fucking glass eye to sleep. Terrible. It's been terrible this week.
John, you might want to come up a little bit more on your mic.
Okay.
They're literally hanging on for dear life. I virtually killed them all. I killed them off.
Bro.
Killed them off.
Yeah, that
destroyed them.
You going after a little bit higher there, John? You're almost there.
Oh, there.
Yeah, you're good right there.
Cool.
Yeah,
I think they're botted, mate. You know what I mean? It's like, apparently they had 50 people in their chat, right? They've got 50 people watching the stream, right? And they've got 3 people in their live chat. Definitely botted. Definitely paying.
Bro.
They're definitely paying. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. I watch all my YouTube on the big TV. I'm hardly ever in any chats. Very rarely am I in the chat. I'm usually watching, on a Fire Stick, Amazon Fire Stick. John, how do you normally watch streams? Do you watch streams on your computer or on your phone, or what do you do?
Typically, I'm on my headphones in my phone.
Oh, okay.
So if I can, I join in a chat. If not, I don't. But yeah, it's been a recent thing where I've actually started jumping in chats. That's not something I always did.
Yeah, I never did that before.
Ask me how I watch streams.
James, how do you watch streams, bro? How do you watch streams?
Listen, ladies, naked on the sofa.
James, man, come on, don't give him any more ammo. Let me jump down in the chat real quick. Say, hey, what's up to everybody out there? Of course, we got Seashell, SoCal. Pat, shout out to you. We got Mr. Jeeky. Let's fucking go, he says. We got, who else we got in the chat? We got Cade the Todd out there. Little shout out to you, bro. Little let's go. We got Monk Fruit out there too. 07 to you, bro. Big B Trucker. I saw he just made a really nice looking brisket. Let's fucking go. We got Carrie C out there. Hey, Carrie, how you doing? Who else we got out there? We got Paul Ogg, of course. He's out there yelling for the aura. What's up, Paul? Good to see you, bro. How's everybody else doing today? You guys doing out there good out there, chat? You getting your nice little hump day going? You stretching your back out? You getting that aura farming going on? We got a lot to cover today. Before we get started though, let me just go ahead and check in with the guys. James, is there anything you want to touch off real quick? I mean, did you see the Scarlet thing with her big hands? I don't know. Did you see that? That was pretty crazy.
No, I did not see that.
James, tell him about Scarlet with the big hands.
Who exposed the big hands?
It was James. James got it, and then what happened, James?
I said about the hands. I'm like, we were having a chat, weren't we? We were going, they look like Scarlet's tits. I'm pretty sure they're Scarlet's tits. Do we want to fit? You're
talking about hands, not
Scarlet's tits?
Yeah.
Definitely, maybe, not quite sure. But then the hands, and I was like, I said, she's got old woman hands. Is she like a junkie or something? What's up with those hands?
Yeah.
Is she like sticking a needle in there or something? You know, she's sticking a needle in between her toes or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the Ministry of Dude, steal my shit, put up a fucking AI like thumbnail, and they do a whole show off the back of my observations. This is what's happening, right? I tell you, they're just like watching me, obsessing about me, and when they're not watching and obsessing about me, they're stealing everything I say and turning it into a 2-hour show. What are we doing here? We're gonna have to start streaming what I said. We're gonna have to start like getting in quick.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean? Because Mercy's going to be at it soon. He's going to be nicking my content. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's going to be like stealing from me.
Yeah, no, facts about that, bro. Yeah, we got to get in on that. But yeah, they were talking about her big ass hands. They did that for 2 hours. And I was looking in the chat. I saw Culture Vulture. He's one of the bros. He made a comment saying that that's from two things. It could be too much alcohol where she has water retention, or she might have a heart condition, which is crazy. What are your thoughts about that, John?
Oh, God, that's kind of crazy if she's that much of an alcoholic at this age, right?
I know, she's so young, bro. She's so
Isn't
young.
she like 24-ish?
Something like that. 26, 23, somewhere in there. I already have
I mean, I
like,
guess that's the age if you're going to do it, right?
yeah, I guess, you know, but bro, I mean, talk about being blown out. She could be end up like one of those people at your local 7-Eleven, you know, with no teeth, asking you for change out in the parking lot because she wants to smoke some meth later. That'll be her when she's 30 if she don't straighten up. I hope she does, though. James.
Did you see
Well, the Ralph mail's going to get her straight.
Yeah, the Ralph mail is on it. Was that James?
Did you see Nightwave last night, though? It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life on stream, right? Where she did it in a really girly voice. She goes to Ralph, right? You're my boyfriend Ralphie. I was like, mate, I just wanted to die, mate. I mean, how down bad have you got to be, right? You know, even though Scarlett's like she's an ex-porn star. I'll take away the star, she's ex-porn. You know what I mean? I don't consider what she did porn star quality stuff. It was all black stuff. It was disgusting. I don't want to talk about it. We're not talking about it, but
No,
like,
we're not talking about it.
bloody Ralph, you got to be scraping the barrel, right? If there was a choice, right? You got you got me, you got John. Pick whatever order you want. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, whatever, right? You know, any order a woman in the chat wants. Where does Ralph figure in all of this? You've got to be so desperate and down bad. I mean, he's got a gun. He lives in Mexico. He looks like he stinks. He doesn't look like he washes his clothes. The man has an allergic reaction to personal hygiene.
Yeah.
I mean, and this frigging guy, right? And now Mint's back on the scene.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
probably going to have a bit of Mint. He's probably going to have a bit of Mint next. He's probably going to have a booze up with fucking Scarlett and Mint.
Yeah, he did you guys see that? I don't know if everybody in the chat saw, but Mint's actually going to come on Ethan Ralph's channel in like 6 or 7 days or something and have a whole interview. How crazy is that? We got Carrie C out in the chat. She says she's playing poor Ethan like a cheap fiddle. You know, I kind of agree with that. I think she never had any intention to go to Mexico. They're just kind of using a platform. Shout out to Hillbilly Harry, who's just showed up in the chat. What's up, buddy?
He's head over heels, though, isn't he? You've seen him, how gooey he is.
Oh.
Mr. Politico, Mr. Gonzo journalist, Mr. like greatest YouTuber that God ever gave breath to, has gone absolutely weak at the knees and goo goo gaga for a fucking ex-porn star, mate. His face, his piggy little face lights up every time she gives him a compliment, mate. He is dead. This is the end of Ethan Ralph. He's dead this time.
That's the truth.
He's dead and buried.
Nobody would have ever thought that Ethan Ralph would have been played like a fiddle by an ex-porn star who's down bad, has no options, nowhere to go, and is just stealing his platform for relevance, bro. The Killstream 2016 Killstream Ethan Ralph was a force to reckon with, man. It's really sad to see that.
Sad.
Yeah, it's really sad to see that. So,
especially as the way he hates women. He is a misogynist, isn't he? He hates women. He's got nothing good to say about women. He's a bigger misogynist than Vito. He literally hates women.
Yeah.
But then an ex-porn star comes along, right?
Yeah.
Who's had more black men than he's had hot dinners. And that's another thing. He can't stand that fact, can he? She's had more black men than the three of us have had hot dinners, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, suddenly Ethan Ralph's like, yeah, we'll just forget all of that.
Yeah.
We'll wash away her sins. I'm going to put her in a 1 month training camp, and then suddenly she's going to be fucking what?
Yeah.
You know?
We got Monk Fruit out in the chat. He says it's all an act. It's all an act, guys. Even her entire loud personality is just for the interview or just for the internet. Watch her old interviews, bro. That could be, or maybe she's like spiraling out of control. Maybe she's on drugs. I don't know. Or it could be an act. You know, is she like? Does she have us all fooled? Is she that like? Does she that smart to fool us all? What do you think, John? Is she conniving? Is she that cunning?
I mean, all women are kind of conniving, right? But is she that smart? No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Definitely not.
Yeah, women are smart. They can be very cunning, very conniving. But by 23 to like aim for Ethan Ralph, and like the way she handled Mersh was just blowing up in her face. She could have never handled James, that's for sure, bro. That would have, she would have been put down quick about that. You know what I'm saying, James?
I wouldn't have lasted 24 hours with that bird.
Oh,
I think
God.
like I got it wrong, didn't I? I got it wrong and you were right. And I'll admit when I'm wrong. When I said like she's probably good for 23 hours a day and then she has 1 hour bad. You were probably right that she's bad for 23 hours a day and has 1 good hour. Now, I mean, have you seen like the people that live in her apartment block? They do wellness checks every 5 minutes, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, she's probably like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Mr. Jiki says Ralph needs to rebrand it as the dead stream instead of the kill stream. Facts, it's dead. No, but I agree with you, James. She's probably yaps like a fucking chihuahua for 23 hours in a day that fucking drives you nuts. And that 1 hour that you have sex with her or whatever, I mean, that was enough to make Matt Mead still fall in love with her. He's still sending her texts. He's still writing her poetry. That poor guy, he got, he caught feelings bad, bro. I feel bad for him.
Have you ever had, like, seriously, right? Have you ever had 6 hour phone sex? Because I've never had 6 hour phone sex in my life. Ethan Ralph, right, could get a Mexican prostitute probably as soon as he walks out of his door.
100%.
He can have real sex with a real woman. If she's ugly, put a paper bag on her head. If she is, or just turn her around so you don't have to look at her and do her from behind or whatever takes your fancy, right? Instead, he wants to have 6 hour phone sex with Scarlett Hampton. I mean, she must be a fantastic talker. What the fuck do you say? I mean, what do you say for 6 hours?
He's talking geopolitics.
Is she reading to him Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings? What is she doing?
I have a bad news. Game of Thrones was never finished, so that's going to leave him hanging at the end. Could you imagine her sitting there talking with geopolitics about the Iran conflict with Ethan Ralph over in Mexico? Now, in Mexico, if Ethan Ralph wanted to, with the hookers, he could go out and get a combo. He'd get one hooker with the side of nachos for $3.99, bro. That's the way they do it down there. John, you know what I'm saying?
It's just wild. The downfall of Ethan Ralph has just been wild to watch. Hasn't it?
Yeah. What do you think it is about Ethan Ralph? Do you think he's like regretting his choices in life? Do you think he feels guilty? Do you think he's just a narcissist spinning out of control? Do you think he feels bad about his mom? Like, what really psychologically do you think is going on there?
I think he's just lonely. He's in a foreign land. I'm sure he doesn't speak Spanish, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's just a lonely guy.
He speaks English.
And he's facts.
He speaks Southern. Come on now.
I think he's just a lonely guy, and he's out there on his own kind of, and he just doesn't really have anything else other than the internet people that he's.
Well, no, I agree with you there, but like there were a lot of choices that led to this. Like if you look back at 2016, 2020, that era, those like 4 years. Bro, the kill stream was go-to, man. Everybody wanted to go to
before that, even like 2014, 15, I think was when he really started gaining traction. It was a big thing. Everyone went on their crazy heated blood sport debates. It was great. And then I think like around 20, once Trump got into office, a lot of these smaller channels kind of fell or not smaller, but more like underground, off the beaten path. Because his channel was big, but kind of fell by the wayside. And I think a lot of those people lost meaning. I mean, look at what's happened to Styx, right?
Well, no, that's true. They don't evolve. I really think that the whole debate thing personally is kind of gay. I mean, like, what are you guys doing? But I do like the conflict, the verbal conflict, and having like, a good, back and forth. That's always fun. And like venting your emotions, that's fun. And, that was a great forum that he had. He could have built something. It seems instead he had a lot of help there, a lot of producers. Gator comes to mind that he kind of just kicked off the stream or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too familiar with the side characters and the producers and all that, but I would listen to some of the bigger debates, and they were. I thought it was great. It was entertaining. Everyone fucking cursing each other out and in witty ways. It was good. I think Ethan's problem is that he put his. The reason he couldn't build it bigger is because he put his personal politics into it, which are not mainstream at all, and it kind of hindered where the show could go.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like he's got a lot of the white nationalist kind of ideas.
Yeah.
Which fine if you have those ideas, cool. But if he would have kept that out of his show, or at least made it so that his views weren't represented in the show,
Well,
then
I mean, you got
he
like
could have grown it more. Because you can have look at Piers Morgan. He has people who are considered white nationalists, like the Nick Fuentes and whatnot.
that's what I
Piers
was
Morgan
going to
is
say.
huge.
You have
you can grow it as long as you aren't the one saying, "Hey, I this is my ideas." You know.
Well, what about Nick Fuentes though? He says that with a lot of his ideas, and he gets like 50 to 80,000 people a night watching. him.
He's very cautious in how he talks, and
Okay.
he's very witty and charming in a weird kind of twink way. But
Yeah.
I think he's just really funny, and that's kind of what gives him the edge there. He's really, and he's also really, really smart. Come on, we're not
No, he
gonna
is
pretend
smart.
that Ethan
But-
is Nick Fuentes.
No, Ethan
as far
Ralph
as
is pretty
intelligence.
smart though. Ethan Ralph, when he's not on drugs, he's pretty smart. That's what I was.
Yeah, but
gonna
you know
say.
what it is.
What
you
you
know
got,
what it
James?
is.
Yeah,
There
what
is
are
a
you thinking?
there is a certain there's a certain joie de vivre. There's a certain charm. John's right to Nick Fuentes. Fucking Ethan Ralph is a fat pig with no charm, right? He has got to be the blackest white man I've ever seen in my life. You know, he has complete low impulse control. Remember, all he does is, Gator's a pedophile. Gator's a pedophile. He's called everyone, right, who used to be his friend. As I would, you called it pedophile, we called it paedophile. He calls everyone a paedophile. He'd have an argument in an empty room. He falls out with everyone. Loyalty is a foreign concept to him. He has no friends. He burns every bridge. So where do you go? How do you get guests on your show? Because you know he's going to burn you down. Well,
Yeah.
you know, we talk in the chat, don't we? He would burn us down, wouldn't he? He'd expose us. He'd expose everything that we've spoken about. I couldn't trust Ethan Ralph. I wouldn't go on his stream. Couldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Yeah, well, that's what I was kind of hinting at. Is it seems like he has a very brittle emotional state. Like 1 minute, like you could be friends. The next minute, you're his enemy. He's going to burn down the bridges. You're out of here. Shout out to Elysium who just jumped in the chat. Good to see you. Shout out to King Yeti. Howdy, heathens, he says.
And he's been beaten up by a woman. He's been beaten up by a woman. He's been beaten up. He's been beaten up by Clipper when he was at his fattest. You know, Riley.
Yeah.
He's been beaten up by Cook's brother-in-law, who's another fat man. Who I would smash the granny out of both of them, and it wouldn't even be that hard. You know what I'm saying? Easy work that is.
Well, that's
you know
true.
What I mean? He's been beaten up. He's been beaten up by everyone, and he gives this aura that I'm a very intelligent man. I'm a politico. I've got my finger on the pulse. You know what I mean? I know what I'm doing. I'm running a serious stream. I'm a professional. But he's hiding in Mexico, and he's pilled out. He's drugged out. He's drunk all the time. He's a sloppy, messy pig, and he doesn't seem to care that that's his only income stream. And he's a mess. We don't come on here, do we?
Yeah.
We're not a mess. I drink one beer. I'll have one beer in a second hour.
What beer you got today, bro? What kind of beer you got today?
I've got the Special Needs American beer. It's a Budweiser, right?
Special Needs
with a twisty cap. Can you see that? You twist the cap off. Can you see that?
Are you saying
You know,
that's a
it's like-
retard beer? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Special
I think
Needs?
so. I'm imagining this is going to be flat as a pat. I always save it, right?
Right.
Because I'm scared shitless that D-Wag's going to come out of the woodwork and try and steal my glory, steal my aura.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to down that beer and then go grab another two and get drunk in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
D-Wag comes on like a Tasmanian devil. You got to be ready for him. Yeah, you can't fall asleep. That's for sure. But yeah, I think Ralph, I think he just kind of has a little bit of a personality disorder there. He turns on his relationships. He's not inconsistent. Everybody likes a drug addict who's consistent, but it's really hard to be a consistent drug addict, right? Because you're on drugs.
He's like the polar opposite of Ricada, isn't he? Ricada gets his work done. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Even when he was at his lowest ebb and he was getting blown under the table, you know what I mean? By that skank. You know what I'm saying? He still turned up to work.
I need to get a table.
He was getting it under the table, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was slipping off for a coffee break. You know, a coffee break, everyone. He was slipping off for a coffee break, and he was still doing his streams, and he was still earning money. And now he's back at it, and he's earning money again.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, like Nick Ricada is a perfect example. You have personal problems, it creates more drama, but if you stay consistent, you'll keep getting people to tune in and hear what you got to say. Makes it
But
really.
he's got a bit of charm, innit? He has got a bit of charm. He must have a bit of charm because he charmed a man. He charmed another man's wife away and got her in a throuple. It was like David Haye, the ex-boxer, man. He got her in a throuple. I've never understood that because there's got to be some kind of hierarchy, isn't there? If you're the wife and the girlfriend's getting more sex, how does that make you feel? What are you just doing? Washing the dishes and looking after the kids while they're upstairs fucking their brains out?
Well,
I can't get that shit.
Let's be real. I mean, like, she probably still has the house in her name too. She has, she's getting the money. She's not worried about it. America's kind of one of the only cultures where people say, oh, don't have a side piece, all that kind of stuff. But in other cultures, they have side pieces all the time. And the lady of the manor, in Asia or whatever, she says, don't forget, side piece, you're just a prostitute. I'm the one who owns the house. I'm the one who has the kids. I'm the one with the legacy. That's kind of what they go for.
I've seen it in my family, right? They tell a story in my family about the Cucarachos, the Italians. And what happened was, one of my family members, right, cheated on their wife. And she was so dishonored by it, she committed suicide, right? And they put a vendetta on him in the old country that he was never allowed to go back home to Italy because they'd kill him. You know what I mean? I've seen it in
Now,
like
see,
my
that's
side
good
of the
shit
family.
right there, bro.
It's like mad shit with the Italians. They all have about a girlfriend and their girlfriend's girlfriend and their girlfriend's girlfriend's girlfriend. They've got so many women going around the corner. And they're all batshit crazy. I would not want that complication. I would not want that complication in my life.
Bro,
you know what I mean? Because I've seen it. I've seen the women. They are mad. They are mad. Bro.
Yeah, you don't want to catch a vendetta in Italy. That's facts right there.
That's the craziest shit.
We
man.
got at
They
least.
tell that. My mum told me this story, and I was like, "That's fucking mad." I was like, "I wonder if he snuck back home."
Well, I mean, you gotta go. You gotta get that tomato sauce. You got to get that tomato sauce.
Because no one ever saw him again. 1 minute he was here, the next minute he was gone.
Maybe he shaved his mustache and people just didn't recognize him. That's possible. We got Elysium in the chat. He says, well, Ralph likes his downers and Ricada likes his uppers. That's a big point. When you're on uppers,
they were pals though, weren't they? Isn't it weird? We live in a world now, right? I mean, we were talking about this before John joined us. We were saying like how Ralph and Mint were mortal enemies. Now they're palling up. And Mint and Katie did were pals, and now they're at each other's throats.
Oh, isn't that crazy?
Ethan, Ralph, and Ricada joined together to bring down Steel Toe, and now Ricada and Ralph have got this kind of like friendship, but not friendship because everyone thinks that Ricada's got the goods on Ralph.
Yeah.
So we can't really move on him.
We got Pat in the chat. She says she's watching Ricada too. There's a Utah lady who poisoned her husband, and she's on trial right now. That sounds good.
Oh, it's good. He's back doing the trials. That's his bread and butter, man. He should be back doing his bread and butter. That's where he was earning big. He was doing the trials. Stop going on Simcast. Stop going after the women because they all fancy me. They don't fancy you, bro. I'm the new groom. I'm taking over. I could steal your wife. I could steal your girlfriend. I could just steal your life away like that. So just leave the fun stuff to me.
Yeah, right.
And you get back to the bread and butter.
Right, yeah. We got Colonel Zayd in the chat. Shout out to you, bro. King Yeti says, Ralph is what you get when the only entertainment you have in your hometown is a Greyhound racetrack and a stop full of lot lizards. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what he's attracting right now, isn't it? For people who don't know,
I know Southerners really wedded to where they come from.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They don't like leaving their area. They're really wedded.
Most of the time.
You know, it's in the blood.
Yeah.
So why the hell would he leave it if he didn't have somewhere where he couldn't go back, like warrants or something, or it's like I don't understand why he's hiding out in Mexico when it's in your heart, your home's in your heart and all that.
Well, a lot of people think it's because of the child support. He's got another child that hasn't had the child support filed on him. Don't know if it will be or won't be. But in America, if you don't pay your child support, they can put you in jail. That's one of the few things they can put you in jail for. So we got to watch out for that. Am I right, John, or am I Rilla, bro? Come on, let's fucking go, right?
No, definitely.
Yeah,
Always got to watch out.
All right, bro. All right, let's jump into some of this stuff that we got to get through real quick here and real slow. Now, what I wanted to bring up is, the Iran thing just popped off out of nowhere, didn't it? It just like all of a sudden popped off. And I don't know if you guys have seen any of those videos about the Iranians shooting those missiles and the other rockets at like Tel Aviv and Haifa and all that kind of stuff. It makes me wonder, do you remember maybe a couple years ago when Israel was complaining about the Iranians shooting their little bottle rockets at them and how the Iron Dome stopped it. Were those? Do you think those are false flags? Now that we see what real missiles look like, what are your thoughts, John?
You know, you can never tell.
Yeah.
That's the problem. You never know, especially in that part of the world. There's no, the reporting is going to be shoddy at best, and we never really know. And none of the, I mean, our own government is not beyond false flags, right? We all know that.
Oh yeah, you heard that a couple of Mossad agents were caught in Saudi Arabia trying to bomb their oil farms. Did you hear that?
Well,
and
yeah, I've heard that one. And I mean, remember there was it was in one of the recent Israel things where Israel was caught bombing something, and then the news said it was, I think the Gazans blew up their own thing or something, like a hospital, or
yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, with Mossad, it's like you always have to think there's probably a false flag here.
Well, and also, with AI, it's really hard to tell if any of the videos are even real anymore, right? So I'm looking at all these, I'm looking at this video and seeing all these missiles going into, different places like Bahrain and
the craziest part is they're not even using AI on a lot of them. They're just using video game footage. I saw one where they blew up allegedly the USS Abraham Lincoln. And
oh yeah.
everyone was like, that's from this video game.
Yeah, but you heard that the Iranians have this missile that can go Mach 14. Did you hear? 14 times the speed of sound, bro. Did you hear that?
I hadn't heard that. No, yeah, I know that they got a bunch of weaponry from China.
Yeah, the speed of sound is like 700 miles an hour, bro. So that's pretty fucking fast.
Yeah, that's extremely fast.
Okay, John, here's a good question, right? So you said that they got a lot of Temu China stuff, right? They got their radar from Temu over there in China, little Alibaba missile launchers and all that stuff. It didn't seem to work too good for the Venezuelans. It doesn't seem like it's going to work too good for the Iranians. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think the Venezuelans I don't think they were as closely allied with China as Iran is.
They had deployed field array radar from China that was supposed to be able to detect stealth anything. But I guess not. I guess it didn't work.
Well, yeah.
Or it was neutralized. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to know. I don't think that they have anything that can detect our bombers like they say they do. Our bombers are pretty fucking stealth. But yeah, it's kind of wild. Just they're getting stuff from China for sure. Russia's kind of tied down, so they can't really help at the moment, which I guess that's a good thing. I don't want us to be over there at all, period.
Yeah,
but
facts, bro.
If we do have to be over there, I don't want Russia and China jumping in either. So it seems like China backed out all of their people from the region. It seems like Netanyahu got the fuck out of there too. Did you see that he flew off to Germany?
He got his ass out of there quick, homeboy.
Yeah.
Where'd he go? Berlin, Germany, bro. What the?
Isn't that kind of wild?
That's crazy. Goes to Berlin, Germany, man. Blue Lotus in the chat. She sat out to you. She says, "So who's ready for nuclear winter?" James, what are your thoughts on that? You think there's going to be a nuclear winter coming on or anything like that? What do you think?
See, I have really mixed feelings about that because I know from the first stream that I pathologically hate Muslims and I hate Islam. It's not. And that's how Mersh first came to know me, didn't he? He was like, this guy just won't shut up about Muslims. He hates them. It's funny.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So on one hand, I didn't want this war to start because I also don't like immigration, and we are going to get all the migrants coming to this country. That's the fallout of war. We're going to get all the Muslim countries are going to come to America, and they're going to come to the UK, and we're still getting the boats every single day. All our bills are going up. That's not good. We're going to be suffering at the petrol pump, aren't we? That's going to go through the roof. These are the fallouts, but that's the thing. So, but when it came to the killing of the Ayatollah, I couldn't have given a tuppenny fuck, mate. The Muslim countries, Iran, like bombing everyone else now, couldn't give a toss, right? But the thing that embarrasses me, and John pointed it out, and I did actually feel embarrassment about this. John goes, "Oh, your leader, Keir Starmer's pathetic." You know what I mean? And when the world sees how pathetic the United Kingdom is, how pathetic England is, how pathetic Britain is, Keir Starmer refuses to get involved in this war because of 6 million Muslims that live in this country. Since the war broke out, he has gone to every single mosque, he has gone to every single university, He's done every speech to say that we're not getting involved in this war. We are providing minimal support. We'll let the Americans use the Diego Garcia, but it's for defensive operations. It's not for offensive operations. And he won't get involved. He won't help. And did you see we got attacked, didn't we? I think, where did we get attacked in Cyprus?
Yeah, there was like a knife fight, right?
Iranian drones in the middle of the night just came upon us, and they were like, we can't get support for another 2 weeks. We can't get support out there for another 2 weeks. That's how down bad we are militarily. We have gone from probably having the greatest military in the world, the greatest empire that the world has ever known, to having the worst military in Europe.
Yeah.
And being run by like a far leftist government that's in hock to 6 million Muslims because they hold the sway and the voting power coming up to May's local elections. So Keir Starmer doesn't dare do anything that could jeopardise his premiership. You know, he wants to stay prime minister, so he has to keep the Muslims on side. And we're having marches in London this weekend for the Ayatollah. You know what I mean? And all the universities are having candlelit vigils for the Ayatollah. So if you want to know what type of country England is, it's not an atheist country. It's not a Christian country. It is, without a shadow of a doubt, a Muslim country.
Well, that's 100%. You guys got all those Muslims over there. If he comes out against Islam, then you guys are in trouble because you got a whole army already in your country. We got
sleepers here, haven't we?
Yeah.
They'll launch a terrorist attack. I always say, don't I? I think with Bill and Hilary, I always put all the enemy within, half joking. But I actually mean it. You've got sleeper cells in America and you've got sleeper cells in the UK that will become active and they will target us domestically, won't they?
Yeah.
Because what we're doing on foreign soil.
Yeah. We got Blue Lotus in the chat. She says, the more time passes, the more I feel the U.S. should be isolationist, at least for a while.
Oh, totally.
I completely agree with that. And that's really what our founding fathers wanted. They wanted us to be isolationist. And we were until World War I, when they sunk the Lusitania, pulled us into that World War. Conveniently enough, right after they did the, in the 2000, what was it? 1913, the Federal Reserve, which went into effect, which allowed, enough credit to be issued so that a world war could be possible. Don't forget that, people. So this goes historically a long way back. And then that, of course, that set up World War II, which was almost guaranteed after the armistice was signed in the back of a caboose of a train. How about that in World War I? That's pretty crazy. Mr. Jiki says, Iran being days away from nukes is going to be the same as all of Iraq's weapons of mass destruction. Mr. Jiki, I think you hit the nail on the head. Iran has been days away from nukes since the 80s. I don't know if you guys heard, but Lindsey Graham today was calling...
He's a warhawk, isn't he? He is a warhawk,
I hate
man.
that,
He loves that shit. Lindsey Graham loves that shit, doesn't he?
Yeah, Lindsey Graham is already calling for a bombing of Lebanon, and I hear wants to go after Turkey as well, as they're the next biggest threats behind Iran. I thought we were only in the Iran thing to change the regime. We've done that, right? The regime has been changed. So isn't the mission done or no? Or do we just keep moving goalposts to make bigger and bigger parking lots for
Mission
Israel?
creep. It's always mission creep, isn't it?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, John?
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, definitely. Netanyahu first said that Iran was weeks from or months from years. He said a couple of years in 92.
Yeah.
That's like 91, 92, somewhere on there. It's almost 35 years ago. Like, they've been almost at a nuke for 35 years. And the politicians, they're paid by the lobbies, so they're just going to parrot whatever Netanyahu says. But the fact that the people just keep on buying it, like the boomers who still watch like Fox and MSNBC and all this crap, like how do they do that? How do they not realize, hey, wait a minute, I've heard this before?
It's like they keep watching the same episode over and over again of the Andy Griffith Show, and they're surprised by the same ending every time. It's like, damn, guys, come on. What do you got, the memory of a goldfish?
I was thinking about it. Like, okay, Trump said that we blew up their nukes. We got rid of them all, right?
That's what he said. They can't make any more nuclear material.
Fordo, I think it was, the place that they bombed. And they're like, we destroyed it all. And then it's been, 2 months since then?
Yeah.
And now they're weeks away from a nuke again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
also,
so he has to admit that was a failure, right? No, but he won't admit that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. It also makes you wonder about that. What was the October 8th massacre that they talk about all the time, where the Iranians flew in with those paragliders? Bro, if they got supersonic missiles, why would they send paragliders? Is anybody asking that question?
Wait, what October 8th massacre? You're talking about the 7th in Israel?
Yeah, the 7th. Is that what it was?
Well, that was the Palestinians. Yeah, that wasn't Iran.
Okay. I was gonna say if they got hypersonic missiles, what are they sending little paragliders in there for?
Yeah, but Trump slipped up today, didn't he? I saw something that Trump said where he said a lot of things about why he started this war. And I was watching like GB News today, and he was doing like a conference with someone, and he said they were going to attack Israel, so I got him first. You know what I mean? He flat out said it. You
it was Rubio.
I mean?
Rubio said Israel was going to do it anyway, so we had to get in on it.
Yeah, well, and Trump said it too. I think he did.
No, Trump denied it. Trump denied it because it made him look bad. Like it made him look like he had to do it because Israel did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Monday he says one thing, Tuesday he says another. You know what I mean? He's like that. You know what? He can't even remember what he said 24 hours previous.
Bro,
you know what I mean? He's like that.
I wouldn't be half as mad about all of this if Trump was actually funny again. Well, how come he's not funny? I mean, like, why isn't he doing his little dances, making his little...
He didn't have good hair today. I saw that he had good hair, right? Because one thing about it, right? One thing about it, right? When you do a war, right, it makes you feel like 12 foot tall. You know, your dick looks big in the mirror. You feel like 12 foot fucking tall. You're starting a war in a foreign country. You're killing people. You got this big swinging dick, and you feel fucking great if you're the leader. Yeah. Like Starmer's like this. He's got like curvature of the spine where he's getting smaller and smaller. Because everyone's saying how weak and ineffective and pathetic you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What was it Trump said? You're no Winston Churchill. You know what I mean? He flat out said it.
Yeah.
You know, he's not built. He's not a wartime leader. I think Trump loves that shit. He lives for it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes him feel tall. It makes him feel big. And like Lindsey Graham, he's a fucking war hawk, and he loves it. You know what I mean? He's in Trump's ear.
Oh, man.
That's from everyone.
Lindsey Graham.
They're all war hawks, though,
Lindsey
because
Graham
they...
Can't wait to slip his hot dog in between them buns. Go on there, John, what were you saying?
They're all war hawks, though. They all get paid by the military-industrial complex. They all do these stock trades when they know that, oh, it's wartime. We better, in 1 month we're going to bomb this place. We better all buy the war stocks and dump all our other stocks. They do that shit, so they know, and they're happy for it.
Oh, yeah.
It makes them rich.
They all shorted oil. You know, oil's supposed to go to $200 a barrel. They all shorted the hell out of that, so they're going to make money off of it. We got Immortal Rising in the chat. He says they all went in with paragliders like Cobra Commander attacking G.I. Joe. Yeah, that's the way it was. John, what do you think? There's a hashtag trending, and it says hashtag send Barron. Send Barron to war. What are your thoughts on that?
I think any politician who votes, or if they're the president, sends us to war, their kids should have to go fight the war. Fuck that. It's the same thing like why I say, repeal the 19th. Unpopular opinion, sorry guys, but women can't get sent to war. Why should they be able to vote to send men to get drafted to go to war?
You make a very good point right there. What do you?
What would I be doing though? They'd be going, James, go to war to kill Muslims. What, to protect Muslim countries? To protect all the Muslims? Why the fuck am I going to war? They're like, hey, you're a racist. You're right wing. You're a white nationalist. You should be the first one to go to war and kill all these people. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, I get to kill a load of Muslims, but that's only to protect the 6 million Muslims that are in my country already and hold sway. So why the fuck would I do that? You know what I mean? It's like they used to go on about Ukraine. Why the fuck would I go and protect Ukraine? Fucking Zelensky turns up every month, right, with an empty briefcase, and he leaves with a big fat briefcase. That's the type of shit country that we run. You know, you get it in America, didn't you? Remember, he didn't even used to wear a suit. He used to come up just like an action man, didn't he, with his hand out. He used to piss me right off. I was like, I wish Trump would just slap the shit out of it. You know when he dressed him down, I was begging Trump to slap the shit out of him. I was like, just slap that fucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You and me both.
Oh yeah. I mean, what?
He's a fucking. Have you seen him? He's like a transvestite comedian.
He is.
And suddenly everyone's
literally.
going, I wish Zelensky was the leader of the free world. Look at him. He's such a great leader. No, he's a fucking thief, right? And he used to do really shitty comedy dressed up as a woman. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you think Trump's an accident and an idiot, go and look at what Zelensky used to be.
Yeah,
You know
and-
what I mean? The guy's a buffoon.
And he still does cocaine, without a doubt about that.
Yeah.
100%. We got who we got? Curly in the chat. Shout out to you. Just saw you jumped on there. But no, it's true. You know, you got to really watch out for these characters because they're nuts, bro. And also, I just saw you were talking about the amount of Muslims. There are a lot of Muslims in America increasing. I saw there was a whole bunch of mosques just being built in Texas, of all places. And if people don't know very much about America, Texas is the most rootin' tootin' American state that there is. Right, John? Over my dead body. You know, they want to carry their gun with them everywhere, even to the bathroom. They want to wear cowboy
They're
spurs.
the one state that has it in their constitution that they can leave the states if they want to.
That's right. They can succeed and actually be their own country if they want to. I don't know if they would join Mexico or just be their own country. Maybe they call it the
Switch it blue.
They
That's what
just
they
go
do,
back to
don't they?
being the
They go
Republic
there.
of Texas.
yeah, the
think.
Republic.
You know what
of
they
Texas.
do? They go to the places, right? Plant their flag, and they change the voting intentions of the area. You can have an area that is extremely conservative, right? And they go to that area, they build it up, they bring their cousins, their aunts, their uncles, their brothers, their sisters. You know, some geezer that's just in the street walking about. Come over to the country. They get into an area. They vote as a family block. And they completely take over that area.
That's
and
true.
they completely change the voting. It goes from this area was conservative, right? It was conservative. It was blue as it gets. Now it's green Muslim. You know, they take over everywhere.
Well, it's true. And speaking of Muslim, there's a lot of Indian Muslims as well in Texas. And one of the funny things that I noticed back in India, they're actually worshiping Benjamin Netanyahu as a bit of a angelic being, and they're holding his picture up over their hearth and all that kind of stuff. I just find that fascinating, and I don't understand why.
BB and cows.
Yeah,
BB and cows.
why people would want to do that. But you know, another interesting facet of this whole Iran, Israel thing going on right now is the fact that everybody's forgetting about over there in Ukraine. They're all forgetting about that. But you see videos of a tremendous amount of Jewish people actually moving into Ukraine and flooding the Ukrainian cities, almost as if it were by design. One of my theories is that they're going to sacrifice Israel to get a one world government and then rule from Ukraine. John, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I know that, depending on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go, the Ashkenazis originate supposedly from the Ukraine region.
Yes.
In and about there. So they do have a big interest in that region, and that's why they're pushing for us to defend them against Russia. So that's a possibility. I know that, for the evil people that run the world, they need all the Jews to go back to Israel, or a vast majority of them, in order for their what we would call the Antichrist, what they would call their Messiah, to come about. So I think that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the world to hate every Jew and pass laws and kick them all out so that they're all forced to go back to that country. And then from there, then they can finish off whatever rituals they need to do to get them.
It seems that way, right? They want to build the third temple, sacrifice the red heifer. You look at
Well, the red heifer thing already happened. Did you hear about that?
I know they have like 2 or 3 red, genetically pure red heifers. Why did they already sacrifice one?
They did. They said it was a test. And then after the fact, they all came out and said, no, that was actually the real thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I know that in the Revelations, it says, it goes through this whole situation, and Armageddon actually means like the final battle, where Jesus comes down and the bridle, there's blood all the way up to the bridle of the horse or something like that. And then after that, there's 1,000 years of peace and whatever. And I think that that's the way they interpret the one world government, that perhaps they could have this giant war on Israel's soil, maybe even have a nuclear battle there, and then they have 1,000-year New World Order kind of reign after that. Is that the direction that we're going, or is that just like a bunch of comic book?
Well, there's several ways they can get to it. I think one is a mass nuclear war. I think another is the whole Project Bluebeam thing, where they threaten an alien invasion, which is obviously fake, but
Okay.
you
So
know,
for
they push
people
it as
don't-
real aliens.
For people don't know what Project Bluebeam is, and there's might be some out there. So why don't you tell them, John, quickly what Project Bluebeam is?
So Project Bluebeam is I don't know if it got declassified or if it was it was basically like a plot that they had where, hey, we have all this advanced technology that, because they had a crazy tiny flying drone with guns that was super maneuverable back in like the 90s or 80s. You can go on Reddit. It's on Reddit, the video of the drone flying and shooting and stuff. I mean, their technology, whatever you think is the state-of-the-art technology, they're at least 20, 30 years ahead.
Agreed.
All this AI stuff that we have out now, that they have way more advanced AI. And so my personal opinion is that they might already even have AI controlling us in ways we don't know.
Well, guaranteed.
Based on the
that's-
social media.
Yeah, social media stuff, guaranteed. Yeah.
But Project Bluebeam is it's a thing that they're planning to do where they're going to fake an alien invasion with their advanced technology, and basically that'll force if you saw Independence Day, the Will Smith movie, that's what would happen. Oh, humanity needs to unite to fight this alien threat, and then that's how they get their global government.
Yeah, it basically galvanize America and the rest of the world against some sort of imminent threat outside of the world, the planet, an alien threat. And
Yeah.
but it's fake, of course. And the thing about it is they have a whole bunch of this hologram technology that they've sporadically deployed. You see them in different parts of the world. In China,
Well, you
had
saw
it.
the New Jersey thing when all the drones were flying over New Jersey.
Yeah.
There were some that definitely looked like they were not real things,
Well,
that they
you
were
can-
holograms,
you
like
can
the
go on the
octopus
internet
looking one.
and find videos that people took of a flying dragon inside of a sports stadium in China, where the dragon flies around the entire stadium, and it looks real. And they also have situations where you have a billboard the size of a building, and then the billboard comes alive, and King Kong comes out of the billboard, kind of thing. But
Yep.
that's all technology that they're going to use and they're going to deploy, so to speak, maybe in Project Bluebeam in order to trick the world into yielding their consent in order to get this one world government. And that's kind of what they're going after. That's what Project Bluebeam is. That's completely valid. They could do a Project Bluebeam situation. There's a whole bunch of paths that they could potentially take, and that's the way they do things, right? They create all these potential paths, and then they select the one that's going to be the most viable at that time with the type of people.
Yeah, they have their hand in several different pots,
Well, Yeah. Like,
and whatever one looks like it's going to boil first is the one they'll go with.
Yeah,
they don't care which one. They have a bunch of different plans. They're very woman-like in that they're conniving.
yeah. We got Curly in the chat saying, "Oh, hey, it's Jesus." Yeah, like they could do a whole transcendent,
totally.
Jesus descending down. We could totally have that.
I mean, they prepped us for it with the whole Tupac hologram at
That's
Coachella.
right.
Do you remember that?
That's right. They had a whole bunch of famous movie stars on stage singing. They brought Elvis back. They had Michael Jackson. They had Tupac. They had all that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, so they're prepping us for it, for sure. And whatever technology they had there is not, not as good as what they actually have.
No,
and that was
and
like
that's
10
facts.
years
I've
ago
seen
anyway.
that. Michael Jackson's hologram ran off with a small child, didn't he?
Yeah, no reports back if the child was a hologram or not. I don't know. I was going to say, hey, James, speaking of they could change their plans at any minute, you got Vivek. Remember him? We had Vivek Ramsworthy, the Indian millionaire here in America. And then one Christmas day.
How's he doing? Is he a governor now? Is he or something?
Well, he was going to be until he said that Americans are lazy, stupid people. And that right there,
He
on
said
a
Indian
dime.
culture was better
Yeah.
than American culture.
Yeah, he said American culture, Indian culture was superior. I'm not getting into that debate, but that definitely.
He probably hasn't. He hasn't watched those Instagram and YouTube videos, has he?
Well, he had
I'm telling you, Indian culture is not good.
Yeah, I don't think he goes around trains very often, but no, I don't think that So that could have he could have been a major player that instantaneously he said one wrong word.
He had
and
me
he's done.
fooled.
Huh?
He had me fooled. I wanted Trump to pick him as vice president.
No.
I really liked him. Yeah, he was saying all the right
John.
things. And then,
you see, Jasmine Crockett went down last night. That was
I did. That was
hilarious,
awesome.
mate. That
And
was so funny.
Even better than Jasmine Crockett.
Crenshaw,
Eye Patch
innit?
McCain. Yep.
Oh yeah,
God,
for
that
those-
was so good.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Jasmine Crockett did not get voted in again, and also Eye Patch McCain lost his race. How about that? Are people waking up, James? What do you think, or are they just rotating in a new bunch? You know, that guy who's going to replace McCain is a pastor who's more in support of Israel than Eye Patch McCain was.
Is he the one with the jet black hair?
Yeah.
That they're raving about. The one that Tommy Robinson was raving about.
I think so.
Because, like, if you ask Hujan, see, this is the thing, right? Hujan pathologically hates Tommy Robinson because Tommy Robinson is very pro-Israel, pro-Jew, isn't he?
Yes.
So, you know, he thinks Tommy Robinson's bought and paid for. And that's probably true because everyone is bought and paid for to some extent. John's right about that, isn't he? You know what I mean? You owe going up the ladder to someone. You're always indebted to someone. But yeah, they'll just replace them with someone else. You think you start going, oh yeah, great, Jasmine Crockett's gone, but you know there'll be another Jasmine Crockett, maybe even worse. You know what I mean? You don't think there could be, but you know you've got to have Rashida Tlaib. She might come up, haven't you? You've got who's the Somalian one? You know that she could
Omar?
come to.
Yeah, Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, Ilhan. I mean, who's to say, right, that she doesn't get the nomination?
Yeah.
I know it's a crazy thing. Everyone thinks Gavin Newsom's going to walk it. Gavin Newsom's groomed. He's got that Kennedy Clinton vibe about him. He's going to be the next president. He's going to win the Democratic nomination. But there's a lot of time. Who's to say they don't lurch far left? Who's to say someone like that?
Ilhan Omar is not an American, or wasn't born
She's
in
not
America, so
eligible.
she can't.
She's not.
Yeah,
she's not eligible.
Yeah.
But an AOC
Ah,
is. AOC
Yeah, an
would be.
AOC, like someone like that from the far left. You know what I mean? Who's to say that someone doesn't come up? You don't think that. It was in this country. There was like David Miliband was groomed to be the next leader of the Labour Party. And his little brother Ed, who was far left, swooped up on the inside and knocked him off. You know, there's a lot of time to be had. And I think, you know, my experience is when you get rid of people that you think are the worst, there's always someone who's far, far worse coming down the pipe.
You know, and that
You know what I mean?
that really like kind of signals what kind of mechanism lies behind all of these details. You know, I think too many times the people, we get caught up in the details of what's going on, right? We, oh my God, did you see this? Did you see that? But like James just said, they replace them with somebody else that's just the same, if not worse, right behind them. Like, for example, did you guys see any of those depositions with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton? Did you guys see any of that? And
those were pretty funny.
Yeah, how Hillary Clinton basically said, you know, I don't know, I didn't see him, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein, and they try to bring up that
Trump.
the frazzle drip stuff, and all she did was say, yeah, like what you gonna say, James? Well, how did she respond to that?
She pleads to Trump.
Yeah, she played
Where's
the
Trump?
Yeah,
It's Trump. Why isn't Trump here? Trump's under my bed. Trump's around the corner.
Right.
Why isn't Trump here instead of me? Trump. Because you know, like John's right. Women are the most some women are the most vindictive cunts that God ever gave breath to, and she will never, ever forgive Donald Trump, right, for stealing her glory and taking what she thought was rightfully hers, and that's the presidency. Because if you ask Bill Clinton, do you like Donald Trump, and if you ask Donald Trump, do you like Bill Clinton, they would say yes, because they're two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
They're both womanizers. They're both sex maniacs. They've both been president. You know, they've experienced that power. They're both successful. You know what I mean? But did you see him? He was like a fucking zombie, wasn't he?
Oh, he
You
was
know what I
so
mean?
happy to see those pictures, bro.
I know. It was like he was living flashbacks.
I remember her. We had sex. Oh, well, we did not have sex in that hot tub. I don't even know a woman was there. What are you talking about? She was good, though.
Young
Did you see
women,
his lawyer tried to
young
pull
women.
the pictures away and he grabbed them back?
Yeah, the lawyer tried to pull the pictures away, and Bill's like, hold on, I'm not done reminiscing. Let me go back one more time. Boy, she was a pretty one back then. Yeah, bro, that was some cringe, scary stuff right there, man. That was scary.
He's got that Kennedy vibe about him, though, hasn't he, Clinton? Bill Clinton always had that, like, Kennedy aura about him. I always talk about aura. But whether you like Bill Clinton or not, he's dripping in aura, isn't he? You know what I mean? He had that Kennedy X Factor shit about him, didn't he? You know what I mean? Women, I don't get it, because he's an ugly fuck, but women, they love the power. You know, it's like a sexual aphrodisiac, man. They're so drawn to the power and like the charm. He's got that like charm going on, isn't he? You know what I mean? He talks them into bed. He's like, Hey, I can't even do his accent, so I'm not even going to try.
Very
Mate,
good.
but
Let's
like,
go to bed. Yeah, he's got that silver tongue, and women start hearing him talk and they're dripping with honey, and they're thinking, where else can you do with that tongue? What that tongue do, Bill Clinton? What
I'm
that
like, dude,
tongue
how
do?
did you end up with Hillary? How did you end up with that sour-faced bitch?
Well,
I mean, seriously.
Well, Hillary's a little crazy, you know. I think she comes from a mobster family. I think her dad was like a head mob boss or something like that. So yes, they got put together, bro, and then the rest is history. I think they really wanted to run Hillary in the power position, but then you know, Bill's charisma overwhelmed everybody, and they were like, "Oh, he's a good old boy. I gotta vote for the good old boy." You know what I mean? I think they went that direction.
That's what happens, man. It's never the guy. It's never the favourite. That's what I think about Newsom. You always think that he's got it in the bag. He's there. He's at the finish line. It's a fait accompli. And there'll always be someone that you least expect that will come up on the inside and will do you.
Yeah.
It was like no one expected when Trump came down that escalator. No one expected him, did he? No one expected Trump to do anything. I didn't expect him to get very far. I thought he'd just be like laughed off the stage. But the guy's just he was fresh. He had that charisma. He attacked everyone. He just swept all before him.
Yeah. Yeah, he had all that, and you know what? They kind of got him ready for it. I mean, that's the whole reason they ran him in The Apprentice for like 10,
it was Jeb, wasn't it? It was
years
Jeb,
before
wasn't it?
that.
It was like everyone thought it'd be Jeb. But Jeb was so listless, he was so lifeless, he had no aura, no charisma, he wasn't a good talker, he wasn't a good speaker, he was flat as a pancake, and Trump just fucking railroaded him.
Right
Just
over the top.
absolutely railroaded.
The charisma
Bullied
always
him.
wins out.
Bullied the man.
The charisma always wins out. And you know what's crazy about it is Bill Clinton looked American people in the eye and he said, I did not have sexual relations with that young lady. Then it came out that he did. And now he's trying to run the same thing again. And the America wants to believe him. That's what's crazy. John, America wants to believe Bill Clinton again and be like, oh, he's just an old guy trying to get some pussy. He all right. He all right. And here,
Yeah, it's wild.
and here he is backstabbing us in the back, bro, like crazy.
It's all team sports. The Democrats want to believe the Democrat, and the Republicans want to believe the Republican, and they're both guilty as fuck. You know, I don't think Trump fucked any kids, but he definitely covered for them, so guilty as charged in my book.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to be able to make a rational statement as to what happened. I mean, like, you know, a lot of this conjecture that they talk about is so beyond the realm of a normal person's thought process, you know, that I'm even like, what? Well, they're eating them now? I mean, like, what the hell?
You know, it's funny, the same I have friends who are like kind of more left wing, and they're going to some protest this weekend, Save the Kids protest. So it brought me into a group chat, and now they're all crying about Trump with Iran and the invasion, which I'm against. I'm against war just in general as a blanket statement. But it's like, okay, wait, hold on. You want to save the kids, and you know, most of you girls in here are feminists. However, you guys are not glad that Trump is taking out the guy who was killing girls who were wearing skirts. Really?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. The you know, the philosophy, we've already talked about this a couple times, and I agree. It's moral relativism. It's never going to make sense. It's not designed to make sense. You can't build a society off of moral relativism. But for the most part, that's what the liberal and the feminine mind deal with, is a moral relativism. And you know,
Well, I consider myself.
go on, James.
I carry on, Ray.
And I was going to say,
No, well, I just say,
sorry, go on, buddy.
yeah, you carry on, man, and then I'll jump in.
No, it's all you go.
No,
You
go
got
ahead,
it. You got
James.
it, James.
No, but I'm just saying, I consider myself a conservative, right? I consider myself right wing, and I spend all of my time criticising conservatives and right wing people for not doing what I want them to do, for not doing what they promised they would do. You know what I mean? Like John said, I don't play that team sport. You know what I mean? I'm not my guy good, your guy bad. There's more nuance to it. You know what I mean? I don't like you on the left. I don't like your policies. I don't like your belief systems. I don't really like anything about you. But if you've got a good idea, I'll embrace it. You know what I mean? Even stupid people have good ideas. I mean, I have good ideas all the time, and I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, fucking, I don't play that team sport. I criticise fucking conservatives 24/7 because they're not doing what I want them to do.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And, you know, I really, it brings to mind Tyler Oliveira when he did the first thing about the Hasidic Jews in Lakewood. And one of the things he said about them is that you got to give them credit. They vote for what's best for them. They don't vote left. They don't vote right. They always vote in a block as what's best for them. And that's what we should do. We should, be cohesive as families and vote for what's best for us, not left and not right. John, it brings to mind what, did you see Waltz was testifying in Congress about what was going on with the fraud?
I didn't see it, but I saw a bunch of, YouTube titles saying Walz is done. He just destroyed his career and all this stuff, but I didn't see what he actually said. So why don't you fill me in?
Well, he was talking and, of course he was testifying. He's already stepped down from governor. I don't think he's ever going to run again. I think the whole purpose of him doing this is to make it seem like he was the only guy doing this. And my question is not necessarily about what his commentary was, because I think it's boring at this point. He's basically going to be lying. We're going to be trying to sift through his lies. My question is, if we discovered all of that fraud in one city, how come we're not doing an audit of all the cities? What are your thoughts on that, John?
I mean, yeah, we should be doing an audit on definitely all the cities and everything, not just the cities, but start with the cities because there's more people and there's more corruption and there's more money going to them. So start in the big cities and then fan your way out into the suburbs and then the small rural areas. But I mean, this is the thing. Elon was going through all that with the Doge thing, right? I don't think Elon's intentions were good.
Do you think that was even real? Do you think the Doge thing was even real?
I think in Elon's mind it was.
Well, he was the one that walked away with the money from that.
No one, because they just brought it all. Everything that he recommended that they cut just went right back to being instated.
I know, but didn't he get some kind of bonus or some kind of thing for that? He met the targeted goal and he got a payout for that, I believe.
No, he didn't get any payout. That was something for Tesla that you're talking about, where if he reached a certain benchmark, he was going to get like $1 trillion bonus or something like that.
Yeah.
And then a judge ruled against him, but then now it escalated, and I think he won. Oh. So he's going to get his money.
So he is going to get his money, yeah.
But that was for Tesla. That wasn't for the Doge thing.
Well,
the Doge thing he was just doing out of his own.
They all wind it together. He got that big contract because of the Doge thing. I know he says they're unrelated, but they are not unrelated.
The thing with the $1 trillion bonus was something. It was something that was him with the Tesla board. And so
I understand what you're saying. I'm telling you that when he did that for Trump renewed the contract for Tesla, which helped him to reach his goals, which got him the $1 trillion. That's what I'm saying. That's how this stuff works. It's not a direct hand-to-hand give-off, bro. Haven't you watched The Wire? You never.
No, I haven't.
You never have the hopper in the same place as the drugs, bro. You pay it here, you go around the corner, and you get your drugs. So you don't get the whole thing caught on camera. Come on, man.
I think that actually, this is what happened was when he got into that fight with Trump. Remember when they started arguing on X, and Elon called him said he was in the Epstein files and all that.
Yeah.
So my takeaway from it was what Elon loves doing is trash talking Tesla so that the stock goes down, and then buying it up when it's cheap, so that when it goes back up, inevitably he makes money. That was my takeaway on what the payout was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what he does, market manipulation. Trump does the same thing.
Yeah.
With one tweet, he could change the effect or the impact on a stock significantly. We got Zay in the chat. He says, "Imagine if we got Kamala, bro. At least wine would be cheaper if we got Kamala." Carrie C says, "New Jersey's a whole needs help." Yeah, I'm sure. All the blue states, I'm not going to lie, all the blue states are running so much fraud. I know that here in California, we had 48, million or billion or something. I know that's two different, whatever, but I think it was $48 million just disappear from the homeless board and end up in yachts for some of these rich people. What's that all about?
That's terrible.
Yeah. We got Mr. Jiki over here. He says, all audits lead to Tel Aviv, so we can't do it. Yeah, I think you're probably right on that one. Max Clammer says, sorry I'm late, guys. Can you start over? No. but we'll catch up, bro. We'll catch up.
John's going later. Aren't you streaming later, John? So we can hop on.
Oh, that's right.
hop on
Yeah, I
Everybody.
am.
John's going to stream later tonight on Third Rail Politics on YouTube, so be sure to check in with that. But we should be.
I'm surprised.
Go on,
I'm
John.
surprised they coexisted. Just to finish up what we were talking about previously, I'm surprised because there's egos and there's egos. I'm the type of ego that can coexist with other people like John that are smarter than me, like Ray that's more artistic than me, more of a blue sky thinker than I am. I can coexist with other egos, but I never thought that Trump and Elon Musk, their egos could coexist with each other because they're both the same. They're both the same type of person. They like to be in charge. They run their mouths. They're bully. They got that bully mentality. You know, you bully me, I bully you. You hit me, I hit you back twice as hard. You know what I mean? And that can never coexist for any length of time. So I was surprised that they lasted as long as they did. You know, where he kept turning up with his kid and his mum. I was like, this ain't gonna last. You know, not in Trump's world. Trump will burn you up. Trump will burn anyone down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gets rid of people. You know what I mean? I think I think he can coexist with someone like Hegseth, because Hegseth, right? He's an arrogant man. He's a tough talker. He gives the bravado. You know that I could do you in a fight. You know, I take on all the people. He does what Trump wants him to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he stepped out of line, Trump would get rid of Hegseth just like that. You know what I mean? But he's kind of like a bit of a patsy as well. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Mr. Trump, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the best leader. Donald Trump's leading. He's on top of everything. You know what I mean? He's a tough guy, but he's also a lick spittle at the same time. You know, that's the kind of person that Trump likes having around.
Yeah, I think Trump likes winners. If you're a winner, he wants you around 100%. I think, to be honest, though, I think that a lot of this stuff, they're just playing characters. And I think a lot of the hierarchy is, denoted from like secret societies behind the scenes. And they move pieces around and do things that they want to do. And so to us, it doesn't look like it makes sense. But that's because we don't see all the information on the board, on the chessboard, so to speak. But I think that's what happens.
Remember they were tripping about Hegseth's tattoos, weren't they?
They still are.
He's got like Judeo-Christian tattoos, isn't he? Yeah, tripping about his tattoos and that, weren't they?
I saw the other day somebody was he has the word on his bicep down here, kafir right there, and so everybody was tripping out about that. How they're talking about in the Islamic text the Antichrist has the word kafir on his forehead. That's kind of the word that all of the Muslims give to us, the people who aren't Muslim. Very similar how the Jews give goyim to the word for us people who are not Jews. So it's a very similar thing. Oh, hold on. You dropped your audio out real quick. Let me fix that. Doggone it. Got to fix that sound, people. I tell you what. No, it's some sort of weird computer glitch or something that I have. It comes on like an hour and a half every time. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
If John
right,
can't work this stuff out,
yeah,
what's a dummy like me gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the tech always be getting you, bro. The tech always gonna be jumping at you. What were you gonna say, John, before we got interrupted by the technical?
You were saying, kafir, the Jews have goyim, and the Japanese have gaijin, which actually kind of sounds a lot like goyim, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
And they're all used in kafir, I don't know, so I can't comment on that one, but I know that the other two are definitely used as a pejorative for outsiders. Like the Japanese word actually means outsider.
Yeah.
And the Jippos use gorger.
Yeah.
They call us gorgeous. Well, I'm a Jippo, so
yeah.
well,
the Mexicans call us gringos. Ralph knows all about the gringo.
Yeah. Well, that actually comes from green coat.
Green coat.
Because that's what our army wears, our green coats.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's where gringo comes from. But yeah, they have a bunch of words for it.
I thought it was the US Masters when you got a green jacket. See, I'm sorry.
I got something pretty interesting for you guys. Now you guys know Tucker Carlson, right? And how he used to be a big Zen guy. That artificial nicotine, those Zen patches that he would put under his lip. Well, he was like a sponsor of him for a minute until they had like a breakdown in negotiations. And Tucker said, well, hell, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my own nicotine thing, right? My own fake artificial nicotine. And so he had it made and they arrived and somebody showed up to his warehouse in Southern California and just stole them. They stole over 370,000 packets of it. It was millions of dollars of merchandise, and they just showed up. They acted like they were the right people to pick it up. They backed up their big rig truck, and then they just drove off somewhere about that. What are your thoughts on that, James?
Was it the Jews?
I have no idea. I have no idea. That's a good question, bro. That's a
I
good
don't know,
question.
man. Because Tucker's a big Muslim guy now, isn't he? I'm like, it's weird, isn't it? Because Tucker obviously doesn't like Israel, does he? He can't stand Israel, so he's kind of like, what's that other guy? Do you know the one? Who's the one who's pro-Russian? Who's American? He's a lot like that. I can't remember what his name is. He's big on X.
What did you say? He's what? Russian?
You say
No, there's a guy that's very pro-Russian that's like Tucker. He's big on X. He's an American guy. I can't remember what his
well,
fucking
there are
name
330 million American guys, so
yeah, I know. He's quite funny. I slip out. You know what I mean? I can't remember these geezers'
he's
names.
He's an American guy.
He's some American guy, but yeah, I mean Tucker doesn't. Tucker's like he's a funny old guy. Tucker. I don't really think about it much. I think about Tucker like I think about all the people on Rumble. I give them no mind, you know, like the Dan Bonginos and the Beaver Fries.
I think Rumble's. I think Tucker's CIA personally, but
I look at all these people and I wouldn't give them the time of day. I'd rather watch fucking paint dry than listen to these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know they're big and I know they've got influence and I know people listen to what they say, but I couldn't really give a shit one way or the other about what Tucker's got to say. But it's funny, like, I mean, that's got to be inside. That's got to be an inside job.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's got to be because someone's got to know the time. Someone's got to know the location. For it to happen that quick, it's got to be planned. So it's got to be someone on the inside that done it.
You know, honestly, this is the issue. Where could, all right, let's say you stole a bunch of Tucker Carlson's Zyn packs, right? They're his brand. It's not like you can go and resell them because you'll be caught instantly. So it has to be someone that just wanted to sabotage Tucker.
Right.
That's my take on it.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, you know, you could give it to all the people that go and steal things at Walmart and then sell them right outside of Walmart, I guess.
Yeah. Like, if it was Zyn brand, then, you know, there's people who could acquire it and sell it and all that, right? But
yeah, it wasn't
Tucker's
Zyn
brand. It's only Tucker's brand. So, like, the only place you can get that is from Tucker's store. So the minute you go out and try to resell a bunch of them, you're caught.
Yeah. What were you saying, James?
He should have just done condoms.
Condoms, yeah. No, and John, it was a rollout of his brand. This was going to be his brand launch too. It wasn't like it was like a
I thought it had already launched.
No, this was going to be his brand launch.
Wow.
Yeah, he had been teasing it, so it's going to delay him, and I don't know. Of course, that's going to impact the market. You know, all that kind of stuff, and so that's going to be pretty important. You know, the other thing too is what's up with all of this, fake nicotine? All of this, all of a sudden we got this synthetic nicotine everywhere. It's like they're trying to get people to stop smoking tobacco. What are your thoughts on that, John?
Well, these Zyn, I don't know the whole method behind Zyns, right? But it's basically mouth tobacco. Right? It's real nicotine, isn't it?
Synthetic nicotine. It's synthetic.
It's synthetic?
Yeah, they develop it in the lab. It doesn't come from the tobacco plant. It's basically like a chemical that they put in this little pack that you put on your lip or whatever. But why are they trying so hard to get people away from tobacco? What are your thoughts on
I don't know. Fucking smoke them if you got them, right?
Well, no, I'm serious. I mean, because it was the big thing. First, they started stop smoking in all the restaurants, then stop smoking in all the cities. Then you can't smoke at the beaches. Then, you know, we got this. Now you can do the vaping. Now you can do the Zyn. But now the vaping's not good for you. But we're still doing that. You shouldn't smoke. Of course, there is a lot of studies. Okay, people. Tobacco comes from the Native American Indians, where they used tobacco for its medicinal purposes. It said it cleansed you. And a lot of times they have done some studies that show that tobacco and that nicotine, just the real stuff, not the stuff with the chemicals in it, like when they roll in a cigarette, it helps to get rid of the parasites and also the nanobots that were in like the jab. Did you hear about that, John?
Well, I know that, so the way the jab works is it gives you a spike protein that then like teaches your DNA through the RNA in it to code a cure for it, allegedly, except it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
But I also know that people who smoked cigarettes, I don't know if vapes also, but I know for sure tobacco, basically, nicotine. The nicotine binds to the receptors that the virus was binding to, so it was keeping the virus out. So apparently people who smoked weren't affected as much by the virus.
Yeah. We got Zayd
Yep.
in the chat. He says he's with Roseanne Barr. Smoking will keep your mind in control. I think that's what you said, not out. O-U-Y. Don't know what that is. Professor Grass, shout out to you, bro. Good to see you. He says Tucker's Alp, that's what it's called. That's his brand, Alp, is 100% natural tobacco snuff. Very interesting. It was a patch, I thought. I believed it was a patch. I don't think it was. Was it a pouch of snuff? Is that what it was, Professor Grass?
I think it's a pouch. Like Zyn, I think also is a pouch that you put in your mouth, and it's basically like you want the effect of nicotine, but you don't want to have the nastiness of chewing tobacco. So
Well, you know,
I don't know what is in Zyn, but allegedly, according to Professor Grass, Tucker's is all natural.
Yeah. And
Don't you all chew tobacco in America? Don't you all chew tobacco and spit on the floor? You know, like cowboys.
in the South, it's big.
Yeah, in the South for sure.
The crazy.
I'm not in the South. I'm in Miami. It's the South of the South.
Yeah, well, Miami's its own thing. Florida's its own thing. But no, in the South, it's big. And you know what's crazy? It's like they put all those kinds of chemicals in with the tobacco when they make it, as in same thing when they do cigarettes or whatever. And even in that dip that you do, you call it dip, they put small granules of glass to cut into your lip so that the tobacco can seep into your lip faster.
Well, it's also loaded with preservatives, which is what a lot of the chemicals are. People say, "Oh, nicotine, cigarettes have tar in it." Well, that's misleading. The tars, same as when Professor Grass smokes weed, right?
Yeah.
Like the resin that from the burning plant that gets pulled through the cigarette. That's what the tar is. It's not like they put street tar in a cigarette.
Yeah. Yeah. No, facts. Yeah. Carrie said in the chat, she said she stopped smoking for 5 months and her blood pressure went high. The doctor said she should pick up smoking again. She did. She hasn't, she hasn't looked back since. But she has her own cigarette machine. Oh, very cool. So, Carrie, do you pack all your own cigarettes? That's pretty cool to hear. Zayd says, hashtag thank you for smoking. Yeah. So, John, thank you for smoking.
You got to get on the lollipops. That's what you got to get on, the lollipops, mate. Get on the lollipops.
We got Curly here. He says, a patooey. Professor Grass again, he says, Zyn is artificial, though. So, Zyn was artificial nicotine. That's right. It was that clear white chemical in a little pouch that you actually put in behind your lip. I heard some friends of mine used it, and they went to town on that. But then it started eating away at their gums, and they had to have a whole lot of dental work for it. I think even Brendan Schwab talked about that on his podcast a few times. We all love Bappa, don't we?
Oh, God. That guy's retarded.
Carrie says, on average, as long as she has her bubble gum, she smokes 6 to 8 cigarettes a day. Carrie, question for you. Do you also make your own bubble gum? That's what we all want to know. Curly says, all water has poo in it. Big whoop. Curly, are you Indian? Like, what the hell's going on, bro? Don't be drinking water with poo in it. Let's fucking go. Grass says the tar and rosin in people's lungs is what stopped the coof. And that's true. Thank God for people who smoke that stopped the virus from spreading. Turns out we didn't need masks. We just need more smokers. Let's fucking go. And Riley in the chat says, 07, boys. 07 to you, Riley.
I could see a major Ralph comeback if he gets into chewing tobacco. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I can see that. That'd be a nice little new angle for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chewing tobacco and porn stars. You know, that's the major comeback right there.
Yeah, we got you. Well, do you think that's what's going to happen? You think Ralph's going to have a comeback? You know, he's got that AMA with mint salad coming up in about a week.
I think it's like nothing's going to happen. You know what I mean? He's like Donald Trump. He takes me to the point of orgasm and then he fucking just falls off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing with Ralph. I remember we were planning it. We were going to do all this content. It was going to kick off. It was going to be a big thing. And then it's just gone quiet the last 2 weeks, isn't it? It's just been shit.
Yeah, now the question...
You know what I mean? All these people are a waste of space. I keep telling you. You know, Dabbleverse, Ralphverse, mate, they're all just right. They blow hot and cold. They're rubbish.
Yeah, they all fizzled out from lack of consistency and a failure to evolve, is what it seems to me. Now, here my question to you, James, is this. Do you think Mint Salad will be on camera when she's on with Ethan Ralph, or will she be off camera? What are your thoughts on that?
What's she weigh at the moment? Riley said she might be a bit fat. You know what I'm saying? You know, women in their weight. You know what I mean? Women like to look good on camera. You know what I mean? You know, Scarlett likes to have her big fat hands out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It depends. It depends what she looks like and what state she's in. I don't know anything about it. She's like split up with Riley. I don't know where she's living. You know, they still living out of a car. I don't know anything about her personal life. Is she still with that geezer?
Yeah.
I don't know what frame of mind she's in. People keep saying she's quite far along in her comic book, but then people are saying that she's burning every bridge, so she's got nowhere to market and sell her comic book.
Yeah.
So I really don't. I don't know. Is she gonna sell her comic book to the Ralph first?
I guess so.
None of those people can read and write. I mean, it's going to be a bit of a hard sell, isn't it?
She's a little bit of a full-on Jippo at this point, isn't she? Living out of a caravan, running around, running scams on people a little bit.
Some of them Jippo women are quite fit, like.
Of course they are.
I don't know if she's up to the level, mate.
Yeah,
she's not up to Tyrone level, you know.
Tyrone. Yeah, we got Riley in the chat. He says Ralph's got the interview of the year lined up for Tuesday. Yeah, that's coming up Tuesday.
We got to get on it, man. We got to EFAT that shit, man. Get on it, get him first.
Yeah,
get him first.
Riley's wondering if they're gonna have a big conversation about the Iranian politics. I don't think that's gonna happen, Riley.
I think he's gonna try. This is what I think he's gonna do, right? And I'm not saying this is what I'd do if I was Ralph, because I can never be Ralph because I'm just levels above. You know what I mean? Look at me and look at him. But like, I think he's gonna try and finagle a twos up. You know what I'm saying? If you can get Mint and Scarlett in the same place at the same time, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, on stream. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But no, nobody can stream.
No, in real life, I think he's going to try and do a Ricada, mate.
Never going to happen.
Try and pull a Ricada.
Never going to happen.
The Mexico menage a trois, mate. The Mexico menage a trois.
I mean, maybe if he was staying at some sort of palatial, landscape palace or something like that, or he was at like some big Fairmont hotel with huge, beautiful space, and he had a big penthouse room, maybe he could pull that off, but hell no.
Well, if it means homeless, and living out of a car, you don't think you should trade up to a Mexican hovel?
No, bro, there's plenty of men in America who would try to take, I mean, hell, the Frog Tony, she could always crash with him, right? 100%. Clip says, will she be fit or fat? That's what we'll find out on Tuesday. I would say if she doesn't have her camera on, I'm voting fat. If she does, we'll see. John, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. No one wants to see anyone fat.
Oh yeah, I mean, unless you're already fat, like we all, when what was Chris Farley when he came in? Oh, and also Jonah Hill. Did you guys see he lost a ton of weight recently? He's real thin now.
Yeah, but when they lose weight, right? They don't lose weight to a natural level, going back to how they were before they got fat. They become borderline anorexic, don't they? And then suddenly, right, because he was wearing fat person clothes, he can never wear normal people clothes. He suddenly starts dressing like fucking David Bowie. He's got the scarf and the shades and the fucking makeup, and he looks like half a puff.
Yeah, bro, I don't know what's up. His head is still the same size. It's like he's got the big old lion head, and he's got his whole mane shaved and his body shaved. Have you guys ever seen dogs when that happens to them, or a cat when they leave the head untouched and they shave the body? That's what he kind of looks like now. He's like all thin down here, but his head is still fucking huge, bro. It's huge.
I blame Ozempic, man. Ozempic's allowed all these fat fuckers to cheat, man.
Yeah. We got Max in the chat. He says she may be skinny if she's drugged out and starving. That's true, but I doubt she's starving.
Her boyfriend. I'm doing whatever that means. But her boyfriend, his day pops up in the chat in a lot of places, doesn't it? Well, I've seen him in the Ministry of New Chat and fucking.
Yeah. I think they're making their try to make their relaunch into society, into online culture. I think they went away.
It's the next online power couple. Can you imagine it? Power couple.
Yeah, I think they went away for a minute. Now they're trying to come back and rebrand and reassert themselves to try to get the clout and also the revenue stream, which it makes sense, but I don't know if that's gonna work. You know what I mean?
Online culture is divvy because you have to if you do an upgrade, right, and I don't kiss anyone's ass, right? I don't kiss people's asses. But Riley's got a bit of charisma, he's got a bit of aura, you know what I mean? This is not an upgrade, this is an obvious downgrade. So if you're going, look, hey, we're going to come online and we're going to take it by storm. Well, you don't do that by downgrading your fella, and you don't do that by burning every bridge that you want to market and sell your comic book to. Now, I rein myself in sometimes because I know you've got things to market and things to sell, and I don't want to fucking piss on your chips. Yeah. You know what I mean? Exactly. I don't want to rain on your parade. You know what I mean? You've got to go on these streams and you've got to sell your wares. But you can't do that in the situation that they find themselves, because Where's the friends?
Yeah.
What if your friend's Frog Tony? If your only friend's Frog Tony or something, you're fucked.
Yeah. Now, do we think this is a case of like she living nice, decided to fuck the pool boy just because she was bored, and then now she's realizing that oh shit, now she's in trouble because the pool boy doesn't roll like the guy that she used to be with? Is that what you're thinking, James?
The grass ain't always greener, is it? You know what I mean? You know,
it's definitely not.
It's, what it was, you don't invite a rooster into the fucking hen house, do you? Because you're just gonna fucking shag everything in sight. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't do that. Once you invite that fucking thing, you can't be around 24/7. And you know what fellas are like, man. They're like a fucking. They see a bird. It don't matter what bird it is. She's there. She's available. And they're like a dog with two dicks. You know what I mean? And invariably, they waltz off. But she's waltzed off with this geezer, thinking it's gonna be like fucking hearts and flowers. The next great big romance. And you're living out your car, and you ain't got two brass farthings to rub together. So that's no fucking life, is it? You know what I mean? And you're not gonna make any money selling comic books. You aren't. The only people that make money selling comic book are the people that are at the top. You know what I mean? The ones that can get over 100,000. And I mean, even Vito got over 100,000 once. He ain't gonna do it twice. He'd be lucky to scrape together 15 grand next time, right?
Yeah, he's not gonna be successful on any of his endeavors because of how he failed to deliver. I mean, could you imagine if you were a company and then you got a $137,000 order that came in and you said, okay, I'm just gonna keep the money. I don't think I'm gonna deliver the product. Like, how would that go, bro? That's retarded.
He's a troll, though, isn't he? He's like a guy, isn't he? Like, he can't cope with the chat. The chat can be like, they can say all the shit in the world they want about me. They go, oh, shut up, cunt, you're a thicko. I don't give a flying fuck, you know what I mean? I just carry on with the stream. You know what I mean? But he sees a comment, gets fixated on it, and it totally wrecks him for the entire stream.
Yeah.
He starts blocking people, paying customers. You don't block paying customers. If someone wants to give Ray, right, $500 to mock me, take the piss out of me, say the worst kind of shit, fucking more power to you. Ray gets $500. You know what I mean? I would never fucking block them or start running them at them because that's a paying customer. They're a paying customer and they're entitled to say what they like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You treat, even if someone doesn't treat you with respect, you realize that they're giving you money. So who the fuck cares?
Yeah, facts. We got Riley in the chat. He says he thought she was different from the women she projected to hate. He was wrong about that. I think that we just, as men, when we grow and mature and evolve, we learn things about female nature that nobody could ever teach us. And I think every man,
I knew she was a
has to go through that. How's that, James?
Riley had his greatest moment, didn't he? You know what I mean? When he stood up to that cross-eyed Brandon, didn't he?
Yeah.
With his fucking yellow cape on and absolutely mugged him off. That's one of my favourite things online. But then you saw Mint and she had a hump back. And I said to you, didn't I? Remember I came to you in the chat. I said, have you seen Riley's girlfriend? She's got like a stooped hump back. Have you seen that? Riley was getting arrested. He was like this, right? He was being taken away. And then Mint was like this. He looked like she had curvature of the spine.
Yeah,
I was like, holy fuck, have you seen Riley's bird? I said, I'm not going to say anything because I like Riley and I don't want to knock his bird. But now he's not with her, I can say it. I said to you, didn't I? I said, that bird's got a fucking hump back. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, facts.
That's not.
We got King Yeti in the chat. He says, Bill is the son of Winthrop Rockefeller, for sure. And Chelsea is Webb Hubble's kid. Yeah, I've seen that Webb Hubble guy. Chelsea's a spitting image of him. Definitely not Bill's daughter. I had heard things about Bill Clinton being a Rockefeller. I think that, the elites are encouraged to have as many kids as possible, even out of wedlock, so that they can manipulate them through the system. And they'll have different last names. It'll be hard to prove the connection, and then they can keep them cohesive. And that just points to a larger type of, entity that rules from the shadows that we don't even know about. I really think the whole Democrat Party is designed to push the Overton window, and the Republican Party is designed to let off the pressure once the people get tired or upset about the Overton window being pushed so far. So it's like a pressurize and then release with the Republicans, pressurize with the Democrats, release with the Republicans. I think that's the entire system right there.
But it swings back and forth, doesn't it? You can't work out, I can never, when it was in the UK, right, when Boris Johnson was the leader of the Conservative Party, I couldn't imagine, right, Boris Johnson ever losing an election as long as he was Conservative Party leader, right? And then COVID came along, and it took him out of the box and out of the game. You know, he fucked up the COVID response, and they removed him as leader. And then you've got all these ineffectual leaders. Then Labour got back into government. That couldn't have been any like kind of coincidence. You know what I mean? Because he was untouchable. He could have had a 10, 15-year reign.
Yeah.
Right? COVID comes along and cuts him off in his prime.
Well, it's a lot like Donald Trump. It's like all of a sudden he wants to do this war out of nowhere to support Israel that launched first preemptively on Iran, which is insane. What are your thoughts on that, John? It seems like that wasn't his agenda. It was somebody else's agenda.
Well, you know the saying, right? The famous saying, the Democrats are speeding off a cliff at 100 miles an hour, and the Republicans are doing it but going the speed limit. So basically, what are the Republicans conserving? What are they going? You know, they're conserving 10 years ago Democrat positions, basically. Like,
well, yeah, that's why I say they're not conserving anything. They're focused on basically they're a pressure release valve for the
they're basically like, hey, whoa, we went too far. Let's dial it back a little bit. Let's maybe
let the people have a bone to pick on, so they ain't so mad anymore when it comes to in 4 more years when we give it back to the Democrats to push it forward again. You know. And, and also,
it's kind of wild.
Don't forget, could we have gone to war if, say, Kamala Harris was the leader? I doubt it. Could they have rolled out the the shot, vaccine? If if what's his name was the Democrat guy was the president?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they took advantage and used Trump's popularity, his populist image, to push a lot of really unpopular things. You know, he banned bump stocks. That was the first major gun legislation that, and people say, oh, well, bump stocks are stupid. They're silly. No one uses them. It's an infringement. He passed a gun infringement that no Democrat passed. No Democrat has passed any anti-2A stuff in I don't know how long. Trump was able to do it. It doesn't matter that it's a silly little it's symbolic. He was able to get some gun control through. And then he did the vaccine. Everyone on the right would have been up in arms had that been a Democrat pushing all of our tax dollars to the big pharma companies. And the Democrat voters, I don't know at the time, but Democrats have always historically been anti-big pharma, right? Like the anti-vaxxers were always left-wing back in the day, and now they flipped it on us.
Yeah, they completely changed in the last.
Yeah, I don't know
years.
if she would have been able to push that. And I did a whole video on it, like when I decided, because I wasn't going to vote this time around. In 2024, I was like, I'm done. Like, Trump picked Vance. Vance is a CIA guy. I'm just not going to do it. And then Democrats started talking about like, oh, the Constitution is an obstacle to governance. And then I was like, I'm voting Trump now. And then I made a video on it. And one of the first things I said in the video, I'm glad I got this recorded before the election happened, was I don't think that the Democrats really wanted to win this election. That's why there wasn't this mass rigging campaign that we had in 2020, because Democrats can't, on the surface, support an Israeli war. They would have to, because every politician that becomes president has to, if Israel wants to start a war, has to do it. But if it would have been the Democrats, they wouldn't have been able to. Or
no, that's interesting.
They would have done it, but
all of the
they would have lost.
Went to war. If you think about it, in the past 20 years, it was all Republican presidents that went to war. Professor Grassman.
Well, there were other campaigns that Clinton bombed Kosovo. There were other things, but not full on wars like what we've had.
Yeah, not the Iraq war and the other war. Yeah, he did. He droned some people. I saw that. Professor Grass brings up a good point. He says the strange thing is that Trump fucked up the COVID response, and then we hired him again. Like, how does that work?
That was the first. I was mad about the bump stock thing. I was mad when he bombed Syria, which was the one of war that he, at least the one that got publicized that he did during his first term. Those were like the three major things. COVID was the other one. I was like, he's the one that shut down the country. He said, we need to stop the spread 2 weeks. And then instead of saying, hey, you know what? We have this thing called I can't remember if it's the 9th or the 10th Amendment, basically the Supremacy Clause, where he could have gone in and said, hey, you guys have to open. You can't keep people shut inside. That's unconstitutional. He could have done that. He didn't do that. Why? He didn't bring out the Insurrection Act in the 2020 riots. Why? Like he fucked up a lot of shit during COVID. And yeah, that was like kind of my start of my turn away from Trump, but I still voted for him because Biden was like just straight up a Chinese and Ukrainian puppet.
Yeah,
Like
it's so
between his
difficult.
son's
Yeah,
dealings and all that.
They make it that way. I think what people need to do and is to not vote really. And I think what this is very difficult. Here's my position. What people need to do is that they need to take their kids out of school and educate them themselves if they can. They need to start making all of their food at home if possible. Stop eating out, stop eating the restaurant food, stop DoorDash and stop all that stuff. And then focus
try
on
to
your
get off
family.
of the system as you can.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Try
I think.
to reestablish that 3-generation family. Like, if you can move your grandparents or whatever into a little, apartment in your backyard or whatever, put them in a tent, put them back there, so that if you got to go to work, they can babysit the kids, bada boom, bada bing. They got the
In a tent.
relationship. Yeah. Hey, the Mexican people, the Cubans, they know how it's done. This is how you generate wealth. This is how you reconstitute a civilization and a culture.
We don't put our grandparents in tents.
Well, maybe not
Definitely not in Florida.
No, you got to build them a casita. Casita. That's what it's called. You build them a casita out back or something like that. What are your thoughts on that, James?
I like the Italian thing. If you know, from my point
Italian.
of
That's
view,
right.
with
Italian.
they all stay together. If it not so much the ones that come across come over to the UK or come over to America, I don't think the culture's the same. If you go to Italy, you go to Rome, what you'll find is it's generational. They'll live in the same house. You'll have the grandparents, then you'll have the mother and the father, then you'll have the children. And what they do is they look after the generations from cradle to grave. They don't necessarily see the stigma, like of all living together, that stigma that is, in the UK or America. Shit, you're still with your parents?
Yeah.
Fuck me, you're still with your grandparents? Get out there. Because they're all working, they've all got jobs, they're all providing, and it's like one big family hub. Because you'll find a lot of Italians are clannish.
Yeah.
They'll stick with their, they'll stick with their lot, they'll put their backs to the wall, and they'll be for them. They won't necessarily be for others or be for the government or be for the country. They'll be for family, blood first. It's very like bloodline related.
That's
but like going back to what
that's what we should be doing.
Yeah. You've got to look at in the world today, as crazy as the world is, right? And I think about this all the time. It's got to the point where you've just got to look after me and mine. You've just got to look after yours. Whatever like family position you find yourself in, whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're married with kids like Professor Grass, you just got to do for self, mate. You just got to stop worrying about government. You got to stop worrying about your area. You just got to look after. You got to find a place to live, put your backs against the wall, and live the best life you can with the circumstances that you find yourself in. Because no one's going to do anything for you. No one's going to help you out. No one's going to come to your rescue. You're going to have to be very insular. Like you said earlier, America, like someone said, America should be insular. I believe that. I believe we should be insular. You know what I mean? They go on about how the special relationship's gone. The special relationship's over. Okay, fine. There's no special relationship between America and the US if there ever was one. Who gives a flying fuck?
No,
I like you, you like me. Who cares? We like each other. That's great. You know what I mean? But as a country, England should look after itself and America should look after itself. Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, they should all take care of their own. You know what I mean? You're going to have to be insular because the United States of Europe hasn't done anything for anyone. You know what I mean? And you've got basically people that are crazy far left and you've got the far right. Well, they're never going to meet in the fucking middle, are they?
No.
You're never going to get like parity. You're never going to get like one idea, of how to run a government.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to look after you and yours, aren't you?
No, I agree. We got Professor Grass in the chat. He says the only rich people. Tell only rich people to DoorDash. He still needs money. So everybody. Rich people still DoorDash, especially if you're around Professor Grass, and tip him good. Okay. We got Max Clamenhammer. He says, build the grandparents a closet. Put them in a closet. Weren't we trying to get everybody out the closet for the longest time? Now we're trying to put
Do you
them back
remember
in
that
the
film,
closet.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Yeah.
Do you remember Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they're in the bed together?
Yeah,
You know, they're both
exactly.
in the
Well, yeah, I
bed,
mean, that's
yeah.
how you got to keep them warm. Shout out to Forest Mommy. She's in the chat, says, shout out to everybody. How you doing, FOMO? Hope you're having a great Wednesday up there. Got spring has sprung in Colorado. We got.
She's got terrible government, ain't she, in Colorado?
Oh, man.
I look at
Colorado's rough.
Forest Mummy's timeline, man, and I get depressed as fuck. I mean, that place is wild, man. I can't even get my nut around it. You know, her timeline just fucking screws with my head, I tell you.
Yeah,
fucking hell. I need to do 3 beers and a couple of paracetamol after I see that timeline.
No, 100%. We got Paul Ogg in the chat. He says, on March 16th, Trump announced voluntary national guidelines to slow the spread. He couldn't shut down the country because too many Democratic governors hated him. The governors are the ones that shut us down. Well, I understand that, but Operation Warp Speed did come from President Trump with all of the taxpayer funding.
Lockdown was horrendous.
We also over purchased that vaccine like crazy, and then sent free components of that vaccine, free what would he call it? Free shots of the vaccine out to all kinds of people. So yeah.
But could you imagine, right? You had a Republican, didn't you? You had Trump, a Republican, which is conservative. You had Boris Johnson, which was conservative. And we had lockdowns, vaccine mandates, social distancing, mask mandates. If you'd ever told me that would be a conservative government or a Republican government pushing that, I would have thought you were batshit crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It ruined so many people's lives. You know, family members you couldn't even go and see your mother and father or your grandparents dying in hospital.
Yeah,
they wouldn't even let you.
Bro.
And then you couldn't have a funeral. You couldn't have a funeral. They were just like fucking buried, and that was that. I mean, it was horrendous.
But not only that, is that California here, we played a little game with all of the small business owners, telling them that if they, did like all of this remodeling and built a little, like for restaurants, for example, built a little outside area that was fully enclosed, that they would let them reopen. And then when they did that after a year, they still would not let them reopen. So that, that sapped all of their savings and they had to go bankrupt. We've lost so many restaurants, so many small mom and pop businesses, especially here in California. It's crazy.
The thing that got me, like, because of you and Hillbilly Harry I follow, the Pacific Palisades thing got me. Where they're going to like fucking turn that into like social housing. And then fucking Gavin Newsom says, I might get the name wrong, so forgive me if I get the name wrong, but he's backing Karen Bass again, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it's saying what a great person she is, and she completely fucked up the response, didn't she?
Yeah.
She was in a foreign country for crying out
on purpose.
You know what I mean?
Just like the person when the Maui fires happened, it was all the same thing. It's all the same script. We got Colonel Zaid in the chat. He says if James saved him from a terrorist, he'd feel like Princess Peach. Paul Ogg says hindsight is a powerful tool, isn't it? Well, no, Paul. I mean, I agree that hindsight is powerful, but at the exact same time, I was saying the same thing back in 2020. I was saying the exact same thing I said now back in 2020. I even got kicked out of a couple of shopping centers because I wouldn't wear a mask. Because I said, the particles of a virus are much, much smaller than the weaving on some cloth mask that somebody wears. That's just common sense. If you're going to... Hold on, James. If you're going to spray... those spray paint people who spray cars or different kind of stuff like that, they wear these different kind of masks that have the charcoal and the vapor lock thing. Those masks might have helped, but an N95 mask is not going to do shit but keep food off your face. It's going to keep sawdust out of your mouth. That's all it's going to do. So I disagree with that. What were you going to say, James?
Yeah, apologies for interrupting. I'm just saying, look, I like Oggy, man, but like, since I started doing all this social media stuff and I started doing videos and I'm streaming with you and I'm speaking out, I've lost friends. Like, I'm 45 years old. I've lost friends that go back when I was 16 years old, man. This shit like matters, it costs, man. Imagine like you losing friends from you're fucking 16 years old. I've known these people my entire adult life. Know what I mean? And now they won't have a bar of me because they think I'm some kind of fucking white nationalist. Just because of the views I espouse on fucking YouTube and on videos, you know what I mean?
Maybe
it's a mad fucking world.
Is it because you're bald? Is that why?
I think so. They
I'm
hate it.
just
You know what I
teasing.
mean?
I'm
Or
just
like maybe
teasing.
it's because I'm like handsome and they're scared I steal their wives and girlfriends.
Are
I
they all
don't know.
fat now?
You
Is
know
that,
what I
is
mean?
that
It's
what
one.
happened? Did they all?
It's one or the other.
Bro, I mean, I'm serious. I've met a couple of my friends from back in the day too, and they're a little bit hefty, you know, and they're like, "Bro, I can't believe you're still out there surfing and doing all this crazy shit." And I'm like, "You're not? Like, what's going on, bro?" We got Professor Grass in the chat. He said, warp speed also gave immunity to all the companies that gave you the faulty shot." Yeah, though that's true. You can't sue them for vaccine damage.
Hey, that's a good name,
Yeah,
Danny Trump.
that's every
Warp
vaccine though.
speed,
Vaccines
epic
are immune
fury.
from all, from like every vaccine is immune from all, what's it called?
Well, I know
Lawsuits.
that, but warp speed especially created new legislation naming those like AstraZeneca and a couple of those companies, specifically Pfizer and AstraZeneca, had never even completed a vaccine before that. Did you know that, John?
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
they were created a couple years before, and then they get this big windfall. Yeah, as you know, of guaranteed purchase from governments, almost as if it's a planned operation. That's pretty crazy. We got Professor Grass. He says over here, James, we have to go to funerals for anyone. Only Zoom funerals, unless you were George Floyd. Then you got 2 funerals. That's facts, bro. George Floyd got 2 funerals in a golden casket. I do remember that. And
Well, it was the same. There you go. It was the same. There you go.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Morricane
And
stuff.
everybody else had to go to get on Zoom to watch their family die. That was terrible. Paul Ogg in the chat, he says, only if a few of us who were sane were the majority. Facts, I agree with that. But we're only going to become the majority when we realize what's going on and we quit falling for these stupid back and forth. Oh, well, you know, the Republicans are going to make a comeback. No, they're going to stab us in the back. That's just what's going to happen. Colonel Zaid says, M95 had to stay on until trail mix time on planes. Oh, that's true. On airplanes, you had to wear a mask the entire time unless you were going to eat something. How ridiculous is that? That was insane. Even surgeons, they asked surgeons. Surgeons said, bro, no. The only reason they wear a surgical mask is to keep their spittle from going into the wound that they're working on. We got Curly in the chat. When lines are forming beyond aisles, it's a problem. Facts on that. Tank Ferret, shout out to you, bro. He says, good evening to all of you magnificent bastards and basterettes. Shout out to you, bro. Carrie C says, yeah, I don't want to think about those times. I agree, Carrie. Let's not think about those times. But, you know, we're dealing with that right now with the whole Iran-Israel thing, and it's going to pull us in. And a lot of people are projecting this war to go on a lot longer than just a couple of weeks and a couple of missiles, a couple of rockets. John, what are your closing thoughts on that as we wrap things up?
And
I know I just kind of
just so much.
I just kind of overloaded you with that question a little bit, didn't I?
Yeah, it's a lot. The whole Iran thing, I think we're gonna be stuck there for a very long time. I think it's really unfortunate, but I don't see us getting out of it. We're not just gonna walk in and be greeted as liberators like the famous Bush line.
Bro, and
we're
why
not just gonna drop some bombs.
Why did
and
we leave?
That's it. Problem gone.
Why did we leave all that equipment in Afghanistan so that we could give it to Iran? Think about that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. What about also Obama giving all those pallets of cash that they flew into Iran so they could make all these missiles? Think about that. This whole thing is engineered, people. This whole thing is engineered.
It was like $4 billion, wasn't it?
Yeah, that he just parachuted down into Iran. That's like fucking direct deposit right there. That's crazy.
Wild.
That's crazy.
Wild. Yeah, I mean, this isn't going to be one of... It's not... Trump already said, oh, we bombed all their nukes out of existence. And then here we are again attacking them because they're weeks away from nukes. They're going to keep lying. They've been wanting this since at least the 70s.
They keep,
you know, when they overthrew the government back then.
Yeah.
And
and we helped them do that. Our CIA helped them do that. So this has been us meddling in their business for all of that time.
One of my theories was that when the Russia conflict started, when Biden was in power, that the goal was to get American troops on the ground, so that we could be distracted on a war, right? Then when the Israel thing happened, the attack on from Gaza, that was obviously allowed to happen because that border is more patrolled than any other border in the world. It was allowed to happen. That was the goal. There was to get American troops on the ground. And my theory is that Russia and Iran, and Iran was, aligned with Gaza, and Iran is aligned with Russia, and Iran and Russia are aligned with China. The
All right.
whole point of this is get American troops on the ground so that we are fighting an all-out war, and we're already pulling weapons and troops and ships from the Pacific, from Korea, South Korea, from Taiwan to the Middle East now. The whole goal is China wants Taiwan. Us pulling all this stuff from that area is going to allow China to attack Taiwan unresisted. And I'm against every war. The one that I think that gives me pause is if China takes Taiwan, because if you thought things were bad with prices and everything when COVID happened, if China takes Taiwan, we basically have to suck their dick for every life necessity, cars, TVs, phones, all those chips are made in Taiwan. We will be at their bidding if they take Taiwan.
You make a good,
and that's the whole goal of
this. You
this.
make a really good point, and I agree with you on that. Even if they do take Taiwan, they won't be able to keep the chips going past 5 years. China,
Why do you say that?
China is incapable of evolving their technology. Their society.
They don't
doesn't
have to.
work
They'll have Taiwan. They'll just force them to do it. No,
they won't do it. I think I agree with you. The other thing that's a little bit inconsequential in my opinion. The reason being is because I don't think there are any countries. I don't think countries really exist. Like how can countries exist when America sends all of our factories to China and then we pick a fight with China to go to war with them? That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, how does that work? We're not self-sufficient. If we're going to go to war with China, we got to order 20 tanks from China to go to war with China. Like, because we don't build any tanks here. But I get your point, and I agree with you that China, they want Taiwan so bad for those microchips because, they're kept out of the first generation microchip game. And they can only do third and fourth generation. They want Taiwan so bad because all the chips
we keep
come
them
out
of the GPUs because we have embargoes on them. They can't get the nicest, newest things.
100%.
So they're not as advanced at least on the hardware end for AI.
Yeah, 100%.
So they want that so bad. Another thing, what was the other? There was another point that I wanted to bring back. The 3-generational family.
Yeah.
The boomers fucked that all up.
The
boomers really, because I grew up, my grandmother took care of me while my parents worked.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys both probably had similar experiences.
I did not. My grandparents were assholes, but go on.
And then the people from our generation who are parents, right? Their parents don't want to take care of the kids, the grandkids. Also, we're just priced out of homes. So like, how can we have a home for our kids and grandparents and our parents when we're priced out of homes and living check to check, renting apartments and bullshit?
100% true.
The boomers kind of fucked it all up by exporting all the jobs, bringing in all the immigrants, all that stuff. So
yeah, they were seduced by rock and roll, bro. They were seduced.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That's right. Now, John, what are you going to talk about tonight, and where can people find you?
You guys can find me Third Rail Politics on YouTube and Rumble. Third Rail Podcast, not spelled out, third spelled out 3RD on X. I'll be going on 9 to somewhere between 9 and 10.
Okay.
And I'm going to be talking about the Iran conflict.
Yeah. And I'll try to pop on for a bit and chop it up with you.
I'll be in the chat, in bed, naked, ladies.
All right, James. What are your final thoughts about what we talked about? What do you got going on?
Right, get ready to clip this. The glasses are coming down. James Grabham doesn't suck dick. James Grabham doesn't suck any man's dick. Women suck my dick.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that. And where can they find you?
No, and
James?
I remember the name. I remember the name of that geezer that was on the tip of my tongue. Jackson Hinkle.
Okay.
That's the guy that pisses me off. Jackson Hinkle. He's a bit like Tucker Carlson.
Gotcha.
They've both gone they don't like Israel, they don't like Jews. They're a bit pro-Russia, aren't they? That was the geezer I was trying to think of, but no. Go support the boys, support Ray, support John. And have a good evening, everyone.
Everybody,
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
everybody give James a follow. That's James Domenico Grabbin on both YouTube and X. He does a great, he's also on TikTok now. So are you on James Domenico Grabbin as well on TikTok, James?
Yeah, probably James Domenico grab mate one. I can't remember. I'm here, there, everywhere. I'm just trying to appeal. You know, I'm just trying to get myself out there because there's a lot of women that are big fans of mine. I know this. There's a whole like raft of them. So I'm trying to get on every platform so I can like, spread myself thin for all these ladies.
That's right. Let's fucking go. And shout out to Professor Grass in the chat. We'll have to get him back on here pretty soon. Thank you everybody for coming on and hanging out with us for 2 hours. Zaid, we got Carrie C, we got Tank out there, Professor Grass, we got who else we got out there as James dies from drinking the retard beer. Who's the retard now, James? We got went down kind of rough. We got Curly, we got Paul Og, we got Mr. Jeeky, we got all kinds of people. So thank you guys for coming out and supporting us. Go kick some ass. So follow it up later on tonight with the Ministry of the Dude right now, and then go watch Third Rail Politics with John, Miami John, later on tonight. We'll all probably pop on. Knuckles to everybody. Get the fuck out of here and go kick some ass. Let's fucking go.